Detroit rolls out the red carpet for hundreds of thousands of new friends. We'll talk about what the city hopes to gain from hosting the NFL draft, and from a big shakeup downtown to neighborhood improvements and new crime numbers. Mayor Duggan is here to expand on the state of the city. Today is Sunday, April 21st, 2024, and this is Flashpoint. Hi, I'm Mara McDonald, and welcome to Flashpoint. Devin has a well-deserved Sunday off. We are on the cusp of welcoming easily 300,000 people to downtown Detroit as the NFL draft rolls into town this week. Now, Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan making it clear in his State of the City address last week that he views this as a relaunch of Detroit and how it's perceived in the national consciousness. The mayor sitting down with us today to talk about what's ahead, including the big bombshell drop this week. General Motors is on the move, leaving the Renaissance Center and heading down Woodward to anchor Dan Gilbert's new Hudson's development. So now what do we do with 5.5 million square feet? It's an opportunity for sure, a daunting one though. And crime stats in Detroit, they're moving in the right direction. But there was a really big surprise in the numbers for the last 6 months, and it was all predicated on a $10 million gamble. So let's get started with Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan this morning on Flashpoint. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Flashpoint, and good morning to Mayor Duggan, and thank you for being with us this morning. We appreciate it very, very much.
Well, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to see the upgrade in the talent hosting Flashpoint today.
I can't wait till Devin hears that. He's going to be so pleased. No, Devin, he's kidding. We're all kidding. I'm glad you came today. We certainly have a whole lot to get to, and I'm going to start with whatever else could we possibly start with, which is the NFL draft at this point. And I attended your State of the City address this week, and I listened carefully, as I always do to these things, and you really started with the draft. And the way you framed the conversation was that this is an opportunity for this city to essentially relaunch itself in the American consciousness. And, you know you know Tony Franco from back in the day, like one of the premier PR firms from the 80s and the 90s. And his line that I took from my time there was, talk ain't cheap, meaning that gaining and keeping a reputation and reputation management is serious business. So with all these people coming here, what's the win for this city? I mean, when you wake up after this whole thing is over, is it the headlines in national publications? Is it people saying, I had no idea this is what this looked like? Or is it attendance? You give me your win here.
I want the 200, 300, 400,000 people who show up to go back to their hometowns in the 32 cities across America and all the other places where the fans come from and say, you can't believe Detroit. I couldn't believe that riverfront. It's not like anything they said. And you could have young people who might think about coming here as a career option where they otherwise wouldn't look at jobs here. You could have business people who are thinking, my next site, I ought to think about Detroit. It may be people who go back and tell their friends and they come back this summer for a weekend for Tiger games. But the ultimate test is, do people who come visit here come say, this isn't what I expected?
As in, if the national press parachutes in here like they like to do, and say, the headline, I can see it. I never knew there was a Gucci in Detroit, or something like that. And when you do get involved in pitches to bring events here, because, I mean, let's be real. Clearly, there is a movement afoot to make this city a more interesting convention destination. I mean, we've got the Edition Hotel going up at the Hudson's. A little bird says it's a JW over at Water Square for the convention center.
I can't confirm the little bird.
That's okay, that bird talks. Those are two upmarket, upscale hotels, okay, that attract a certain kind of clientele. How are you pitching this city as a destination? We aren't an obvious choice in that, it's not like, oh, we're going to the Big Easy for a convention. You know what I mean?
So I look at this as a lot more than pitching tourists and conventions. Well, that's important. It puts a lot of people to work. But we landed a tech company called Majorel 500 employees. They deal with the interaction you have with Twitter or Facebook or Instagram in office in the city of Detroit. It was a national company who came to Detroit because there's affordable housing here, there's a culture of entrepreneurialism here. I am more interested in people walking out of here saying, I want to think about Detroit for our future, because we have plenty of office capacity here. I want to bring in businesses who aren't thinking about it. You got a lot of startups in this state who head for the east or west coast when they start to grow to the next stage. I want to keep them here. And so our target is not so much the next convention. Our target is people making long-term business or living decisions.
Well, what is it? The Class A office space vacancy rate in the metro is, what did Newmark say, 22.3? Yeah. And that's not Detroit, that's the metro.
Right.
That's
which is better than New York and Chicago, right? So everybody...
But that's still substantial.
Everybody in America has got more office space than they need because COVID changed the way we're working. That's okay. Now the question is, who is going to benefit from it? And if you are a national company, and right now I'm in a San Francisco, I'm in an Austin, I'm in a Miami, where the costs are so expensive that my workers can't afford to be there, could you come to a Detroit and get your company going and succeed? This is who I want us to reintroduce ourselves to, people who aren't even thinking about us.
Which segues nicely into the Renaissance Center. So, you know, Yahoo that GM is moving down the road, but that is 5.5, I mean, that is so many millions of square feet, it boggles the mind. There doesn't seem to be the market to just redo it as office. I know you have to have a thought process about what you want to see there. So is it keeping those towers intact? People are like, oh, just turn it into condos. You can't dump that amount of square footage, real estate-wise. It just doesn't work. So I know you think 10 years at a time. What does that look like to you?
Well, I would say this, and Dan Gilbert made reference to it. I think the marriage between Bedrock and GM, I was the matchmaker. Dan wanted GM to be there. Here is the question. One, I wanted to stop any conversation about GM moving the headquarters out of Detroit. That's now done. Second, General Motors is not a real estate company. As long as General Motors was solely responsible for the Renaissance Center, the future was going to be iffy. Dan Gilbert has been more successful than anybody in the country at taking old buildings and repurposing them. And now we have Dan Gilbert and Bedrock all the way engaged on the Renaissance Center. This is where we wanted to be. And so I'm very happy that County Executive Warren Evans is engaged. I've got 100 ideas. We've got a year before GM moves. Now, the city of Detroit has office spaces in a lot of different buildings outside of City Hall. We're not going to move City Hall. Could you consolidate them in one place? Could other governments consolidate in one place? Could we have a public floor at the Renaissance Center and all your services there? The state is passing a new bill for R&D companies to incentivize them. We haven't had that before. Right now, maybe those are going to Ann Arbor. Could you create an R&D tower and really make it an invention space? Can you adapt one of the towers to make it housing with those beautiful views? The answer is going to be a combination of those things. But with Bedrock and GM locked in and the county locked in over the next year, we're going to have the right solution. But it's not going to be one thing. It's going to be a mix of users.
If you had your druthers, would you keep those towers? Meaning not tear it down and reimagine.
Oh, no, I think the Renaissance Center is iconic. But we're going to face reality as it is, but I'm confident we're going to find uses. And we're at the beginning stages right now. But I said this before. I made Matt Maroon put those windows in the train station. He spent $1 million, and he was furious with me. And then Cranes hosted that homecoming dinner in the station, and lots of people said, you could use this again. I would have never predicted it was going to be Bill Ford who would come in and say, I'm going to convert this train station to something special for Ford Motor Company. I think there are companies out there in Michigan and across the country who could look at the Renaissance Center and say, I can do something special there. And we're going to have the next year to give them a chance to develop that.
Do you understand why people in this area have trepidation about redevelopment? And that's certainly not a statement on you or Dan Gilbert or General Motors. The train station was an eyesore for decades.
Right.
And, you know, people rise to their environment. And when you have something that is a shell and that is thoughtless and no one cares, it brings everybody down. And that was the name of the game here for so long. You understand why people are nervous?
That's why I went to Dan Gilbert and said we can't have that happen again. And this is why Dan Gilbert's participation is the key to this. He had a lot on his plate before he signed up to take a lead on the Renaissance Center. But this is the difference. I was here when the train station closed. Nobody was working on a plan. When Hudson's closed, I was in there the week they closed. Nobody had a plan. When Fisher 21 closed, nobody had a plan. This is different. We're a year before people are moving out, and we're all putting the plan together, what's next. And so people have trepidation, they have trepidation. Of all the challenges I've faced at the city, figuring out how to make the Renaissance Center work is not the worst of the problems we've had.
You don't look at it as a daunting task?
No, I look at it as what I signed up for. But you want to talk about an asset? I'll tell you something. You go through that train station, which at one point the security company owned it for the failure to pay the rent to security. You looked at that, now that was daunting. The Renaissance Center, getting that reused, it's a beautiful building.
Okay, Mayor Mike Duggan dishing on what's going to happen next. We've got a whole lot more to ask him, though, so stay with us. Welcome back to Flashpoint, and thank you for joining us for our conversation with Mayor Mike Duggan. As I said, I attended your State of the City address, and what do you think I thought was the most shocking thing you said?
Naming the building after Helen Moore?
No, actually, I thought that was a really nice touch. I could not believe when you started dishing those crime stats.
Oh.
When you last year, because I attended that State of the City address too, said you were going to put $10 million in a pot to try and foster a community violence initiative that was going to put money into community groups to try and prevent violence, meaning, you know, get out there, get in the streets and try and do something so it's not always the police department's problem. I thought that was crazy.
Yeah.
I really did. I heard that last year and I thought, oh, come on. And then you come out this year, and not only is the police department really hitting on all fours as far as stats, then you showed the difference that those groups, or at least 4 of those groups, have made. I was stunned. So why is this working, and why did you think it had the potential to work? That's a $10 million gamble.
So we're spending $350 million a year on the police department. And I had lots of conversations with these folks, and I said, if I could pay you $10 million a year to stop the shooting, it beats putting $350 million a year to the police department. Do you think you can do it? And as I listened to them, they all had different ideas. And that's when I said, we're going to break the mold. Nationally, they pay you money to run rec programs or youth golf programs. I said, I'm going to each give you your own zone and let you pursue your own strategy. Because they were arguing with each other. I thought, why should I pick one? But you look at what Aaliyah Harvey Quinn and that group has done in Warrendale. You are a young person who's been involved in gang activity or close to gang activity in Warrendale. They've been having conversations with you about all the other options that are out there. You go out to the west side and these folks like Negus Vu, they're in Henry Ford High School talking to kids. Over on the east side, we have gang members who are proud longtime gang members of 2 rival east side gangs who are both employed together, and they've cut the violence at 7 and Gratiot. But what they're doing is every time a beef is emerging, usually the police find out about it later. They're talking. Here's how we solve it. And the thing about the individuals who are in this gang activity, they've got younger brothers and sisters. In some cases, they have children of their own. They don't want the random violence. A lot of them are carrying a gun because they're afraid. If you can convince people to leave the guns at home, you can change it. Now, we know for a 6-month period, 4 of these groups have done significantly better than the city average. We're now going to go to the next 6 months period. that includes the summer. If we get a 12-month period, everybody in America is going to be studying us. But the interesting thing is the two groups who said, we don't really want to be intensely in the personal conversation, we want to have CB and visibility patrols, they're not doing as well. And we sit in the meetings, we're all in the meetings together. I said, guys, you are what your record says you are. I'm not going to keep paying you. And they said to the other groups, will you work with us so we can adapt your tactics? And the other four groups are helping the two. And I think the two who haven't made it yet are going to succeed. We gave them a 3-month extension as well. But I'm just really proud. And the funny thing is, these are people who basically campaigned against me every time. And I've said, okay, you said you can reduce the violence. We'll give you the resources. And so far, they're proven that they are the trusted voices in the community that are making a difference.
And yet people don't like to be told what to do. I mean, we see that every day. But this works. Why? What's the tactic? What's the message, do you think, that resonates?
There's no doubt. So you have to show that you care. You've got a 19-year-old who's dealing drugs on the corner. He's probably only making $15 an hour. You've been in these drug houses. These guys aren't living wealthy.
No, it's not a Gucci existence.
Exactly. You can put them in a job where they're making $18 an hour with benefits and they don't have to look over their shoulders. A lot of them are interested in that. And what our groups are doing is saying, here's the training program. Here's the jobs program. Here's what we can do to help get some diapers for your baby. Here's what we can do to help your mom in the house where she's got the abandoned house next door. And we back these groups with the city resources. And when you show these young men, mostly, but young men and women, you care about them as these groups do, they tend to respond. And you have people who have been there who can say, there are good choices in life and bad choices in life, and you guys are talented and have a bright future. Let's go down this road. You change 10% of those decisions, and now you got 10% more folks on a right track. It makes a difference. And again, we're going to see when it goes through the summer, but I have been so impressed. And if you had asked me to predict which four groups we're going to have the biggest drops, just watching their interactions, I would have predicted the four. I think they're really onto something.
Which sort of segues into the other issue, and it's about neighborhoods, because, you know, every time you do one of these State of the City addresses, everybody, not everybody, but a good portion of people say, well, what about the neighborhoods? What are you doing for the neighborhoods? Well, there's been a substantial investment in multiple neighborhoods, and this time it's that Dexter corridor. Can you explain to people at home how you guys strategically look at, okay, we're going to do Fitzgerald. We've done this streetscape. Now we're concentrating over here. Why was this the geographic decision this time?
Well, you have 600 block club presidents who resent the hell out of the statement, nothing's happened in the neighborhood. They have made enormous progress and have fought every day. And when they're dismissed, they all resent. A lot of them were at the meeting, and they've done beautifications, and they've created parklets, and they've cleaned up alleys and the like. And then there are areas where we put significant additional investment in. We've done it all over the city. We did it on Livernois, we did it at Kirchville and Van Dyke, we've done it on Rosa Parks, did it on East Warren over by Cadgett, we've done it on West Warren out by Southfield. Now we've gone to Dexter. And we've gone to areas where we have strong neighborhoods, groups bringing back the neighborhoods who say our commercial corridor. And I remember, I was a kid here. I remember when the East Warren commercial corridor, you didn't have a reason to go to the suburbs. Everything you wanted was right here in town. They want their commercial corridors to come back, and they're coming back where we're putting in the investment. So it's exciting. People in the neighborhoods know what's going on, but almost invariably, the media person who says nothing's happening in the neighborhood, that person doesn't live in the city. And there's a lot of block club presidents who really resent it.
I don't know that it's media people. I'd call them keyboard warriors who sit there and endlessly complain.
The complainers I don't mind. The question is, who amplifies the keyboard warriors? And if you just take a look, their voices are amplified way out of proportion, in my opinion, by coverage. NBC came in here to do a story for an event about a month or so ago. And sure, one person said nothing's happened in the neighborhood. Now we got a national story. It was for the Lions playoff game. And so it's unfortunate that the negative is easily amplified by people who don't know as opposed to learning the information. But that's why the University of Michigan study that says the wealth in this city, black wealth has grown $3 billion in the homes in the last 9 years. Overall wealth, $4 billion growth. It is hard to dismiss nothing's happening in the neighborhood. The University of Michigan says, whoa, Detroit's leading America in the growth in property values. Something's happened in the neighborhoods.
Before we let you go, I know you're busy. I know you're on the move. I've seen the pictures you take on weekends of abandoned vehicles and send to your staff, which I'm sure they really enjoy. You have been unforthcoming about future plans. But I know that you know that a number of prominent Democrats are considering running for mayor, and that's something that they would never consider if you were going to run again for this job. So I'm not going to pin you down on whether you're running for mayor again or what you may be running for, but I would like to ask you, when are we going to know?
I would say this summer. If I run for re-election, I hope the voters of the city have a lot of choices. I hope everybody runs and people can make a decision. And if I don't run, I want people to be able to make decisions based on that too. So this summer, I'll make a decision on whether to run for re-election.
Okay. Mayor Duggan, thank you. I really appreciate your time. One more real quick question. Solar, you're really going to do it?
Yes, we're going to pull it off.
You're really going to pull this off? This isn't some woo-woo voodoo?
Did you see these neighbors? I got the neighbors on my side now. Once the neighbors are on your side, city council usually follows the log.
Okay. If you say it's going to happen, I'm going to take you at your word. Mr. Mayor, thank you for your time. Everybody, we'll be back to wrap it up in just a moment. Plus, our newscasts are going to be coming to you from the heart of the action. Thank you so much for joining me this morning on Flashpoint. Devin is going to be back next week. Meet the Press is next. Have a wonderful Sunday.